everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
These are our friends. They're in our game. They're going to answer questions that people sent in about the game. I will be timing them. Not so that they have to be quick, but so that they can be quick.
Because we have many questions, and we're also going to play a God level game in a few minutes, so
yeah,
we're going to
in like an hour.
Yeah, it's like an hour.
Okay. But just a reminder to them, because I forgot to tell them before. Remember to enunciate. Sometimes the mic isn't great; it mumbles. Okay, first question, go.
All right, okay. First question: does high positive or negative appearance usually affect your internal band interactions, or is it forgotten and shrugged off by the players and PCs? For instance, does Woody often find himself getting lost in Geoff's eyes, or is he just used to it? Go.
Woody, not so much. Woody has retained his old man crotchetiness in game from Geoff's perspective. Vivian, on the other hand, sometimes finds herself lost in
She's a married
certain
woman,
aspects of Geoff.
but she definitely has her moments. For instance, recently she came back to visit him, and he was sitting on his throne in Gimli, and she snuck a peek up his whatever traditional garb he was wearing.
Yeah,
and
you
she
know.
kind of grinned to herself. So that happens. I don't think that I really think about it when because Woody has negative appearance, and I don't really think about it with him as much. I kind of like to think of it as Vivian has seen far worse. So, I mean, he doesn't look that bad. Plus, she's been looking at him for years and years now. So within the band, I don't think it really...
It's something like...
I just do it to him because it's funny.
There is a good humor factor, but really what happens a lot of times with charisma and appearance as the game has gone on as a leader character, it's something like the band gets used to it. It's not something like, even though it's so overpowering and it's so, godlike, the appearance and the charisma, the band begins to get used to it and they function with that as part of their lives. And John, as the ST, is usually pretty good, where it's like, okay, remember, Geoff is naked now, and he has 10 appearance and 10 epic. So just remember, play the scene out with that in mind. Or when Geoff is kind of in a debate with Woody about something or something else, he chimes in, remember, yes, you guys bicker and fight about a lot of things, but he has 10 charisma, 10 epics, why don't we roll? And that's how that situation usually gets played out. So.
And Geoff has a 2-foot penis.
Yeah, he's a big man. He's a big man.
Yeah, a lot of times Woody will be frustrated or, not too pleased with Geoff's plan and everything, but then, he catches himself and remembers kind of who he's talking to.
Well,
that's probably why he gets her with Vivian, too. She's not nearly as epically interesting to look at as anybody else in the band, but she has 10 epic charisma and 10 regular too, so.
And a fun dynamic too, usually with an appearance character, once you hit a certain point, or a charisma character, you're constantly giving the band willpower, or you're constantly using lasting impression on everybody for those sweet integrity bonuses. So a lot of times that's another good way to remind characters in the band that, oh my god, this person is so amazing, I love being around them, I think about them all the time, and I'm glad they're around. So it's kind of that lingering thing that can also happen that other players can think about, like when a power's used.
I find that happening a lot more in Eastern Promises now, where we're a much lower level, and so we're not as epically hot as we are in God Game, but we're having to remind ourselves, oh, I really like this person because of X, because they do this, because they're pretty and they look at me that special way, and it makes me feel better about myself.
Eastern Promises, you guys get to play the ugliness factor a lot more.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah, we're uggos.
And there's definitely times in both games where I'm making like an integrity roll or doing art or something and finding that I really wish that I'd been around Geoff more recently. Just, mechanically, but then also role-playing wise too.
Yeah. Cool. Next question.
Woo-hoo. All right, next question. Have you used gods in your games as NPCs that are actually involved alongside the PCs, not just as observers? And if so, which ones have been the most important?
Well, we just did a thing in a Titan realm where we had other gods with us, but we didn't necessarily know that they were with us. But before, it's kind of hard to explain. Anyway, before
Also, spoilers.
yeah, we should put a big spoiler alert thing on the front of this vlog. Before we,
It's okay.
Okay.
Just leave it.
Before we went into the Titan realm, we had to go around and try to get help from the various people that ended up having to go in with us. So we interacted with them, and we had a little adventure with Streebog, kind of.
Oh, we always have an adventure.
We had a little adventure with Frosty, Frost God.
It's the
Yeah,
It's a
Sowiljr.
Karaoke. Come on, it's not that hard.
Well, it's just been so long since we've seen him, I forgot. And I know.
And Amy hit Thomas. All right.
And but we haven't really had anything extended, and in our most recent dealings, which have taken a very long time, haven't dealt with even though we were in there with them, we didn't really know it or whatever. So that's a little bit funny to answer.
Well, it's. I mean, I'm kind of a little confused by the questions because when I think of NPCs, I think of helpers and guides and stuff like that. And whenever a god enters your game, they have their own agenda. And they're doing what they want to do. If that's helping you in the moment, that's because it helps them in the long game. So, when you think of a god coming in and helping out your band, it's not really like an NPC. It's kind of just this cosmic force that's walked in there, and you're their NPC. It just so happens you're the player character, so you don't really think of it that way. But, I mean, anytime I think, in my opinion, once characters hit apotheosis, you're always dealing with gods as NPCs. Whether that's...
It's like you starred in a new movie and everybody realized you're a great talent, and so now everybody's put you in the big movies with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, and you're just surrounded by those people all the time, and you're way out. You feel like you're way out of your league, but that's just who you deal with now.
Yeah, because even though you're maybe only 30 years old, your characters are only 30, 40 years old, but now you're a god, you're going toe-to-toe with things that have been around for millennia that have the same power as you do. So it's this weird kind of thing to think about, but yeah, once you hit apotheosis, inter-pantheon politics, or politics with other pantheons, or fights, or anything, gods are just going to be around because those are your equals now in the game. You're not going to be dealing with people and demigods as much, or if you are, it's you giving them orders. It's not you asking them or you trying to do as much with that kind of thing.
We'll be seeing a lot of gods very soon because we are having a party at Geoff's house. It's for all the kings. So it's just
parties.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get through the first party
Secret
first.
Party. There's a good party and then there's the secret party.
So anyway, yeah, we deal with them all the time. Is basically what we're saying.
Whether we want to or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since Geoff and Woody are both, some of the sole members of our pantheon now. We have a lot of dealing
Yes.
with other people coming, checking in, seeing what's going on, seeing if we have plans,
Yeah, hey, what are you guys doing?
Hey,
seeing
so
if we're
you're
still
thinking-
here. Yeah.
If you're gonna be a king, you should probably get people to rule.
Is this space for rent?
Yeah, lots of that.
Whatever.
All right, your third
Yeah.
question. Have your PCs ever been in an Avatar versus Avatar fight? What is that like?
Well,
Do you guys have
no,
Avatar?
we don't have Avatar yet.
We're not that big.
No, they mean you could be in the fight. You weren't
Oh.
one of the avatars.
Oh.
Oh.
You mean Ragnarok? Have we
Yes.
been in Ragnarok? The answer is yes.
Or the you guys
Aztec
weren't
Narok.
there. Yeah, Aztec Narok was pretty bad too.
There was also Greek Narok.
There-
Not a lot of them.
There was Greek Narok too, but we're not going to talk about that.
Um,
There weren't really avatars blown for that. I mean, that we were. I mean, for Ragnarok, we were right there.
Right.
We were in the scene. This, we weren't directly involved in the action.
We could see it all.
We could see it, but we weren't involved.
What was it like? It was scary.
Terrifying.
It's because when an avatar, most of the time it was, well, let's see, Aztec Narok, avatars were used because gods died. Or if I'm remembering that correctly, I think that's how it worked. Because gods died when the Norse were fighting the Aztec, that's when their avatars started exploding in the Gulf of Mexico.
They were all using them before then too.
Oh, they were?
Like, because Odin had to come in an avatar to make everything start happening.
Ah, okay. And a lot of Avatar stuff too, if the ST's using it, you don't say he's Avatar.
Yeah.
He just starts saying all these crazy things that the god's doing, which is what Avatar powers are. So it's just scary. Anything can happen. Anything does happen. And you just kind of hold on for the ride. Again, because there's no powers that are laid out that you could read beforehand. It's just like, this is what happened, and then you just deal with it.
And then there's always terrible, long-lasting effects afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Like the Fate Ocean around Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
What else have we seen?
I don't know how many spoilers we can give away for
things.
events.
Yeah, I feel safe talking about Aztec Nurok, but none of the other two.
I mean, and shrugged. Is that permission to say anything?
I mean, if you guys feel like you need to mention something else, go ahead.
No. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. Be very afraid.
The destruction of entire realms can
I think I'm very lucky that none of us have that sort of power yet. So.
Well, and also some avatars are much more horrifying than others. Like, I don't think that the avatar of the sun is going to be quite as scary as the avatar of death. Like, wow. It's going to be like it's how the powers are used and how the characters in the ST think of the powers. But there are going to be some that are just very, very just game changing.
Yeah, and I think that we will run into avatars more when we're finding people. Well, not that we're going to be blowing it all the time, but, like direct opposites, like darkness and sun would probably be more likely to be blown than fertility and moon or something.
Come on, that's what you blow for a good party.
Well, we should invite them to your King's Moot then. But yeah, so if we ever find ourselves in a situation where that kind of, direct opposites are happening, then I think that'll be the time. We'll know in our hearts when to use Avatar.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of it will depend on who it is who's using it, on how bad it is, and of course the situation that it happens in.
Yeah. All
right. On his sheet, Sowiljr has a key card for something called the Handsome Gods Club. What is that? Is that a cult he has, or a gentleman's club for the gods?
It's a thing that doesn't really exist anymore. So
Handsome God's animosity.
It's something that happened when Geoff was nearing apotheosis because he was one of the guys who was maxing out in appearance. There was a club apparently that came to light that all of the male gods who had avatar appearance were part of this club, this feel-good club where all these guys got together and hung out in this secret location, and everyone got a key card to the elevator to go up to this penthouse that they could all hang out in. And Geoff got in because Baldur, his dad, was a member of the club, and Geoff became a provisional member of the club because he was well on his way to being super hot. And, gods die and things happen and there's awfulness in the world, and a party club like that can't really exist in a time of war, and just stuff happens. So he's still got the card, he can still talk to people, it allows him to telepathy with other members of the Handsome Gods Club, but that's about it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a club, they're handsome, they're gods. Only men are allowed.
Just a shame.
Yeah, and not that stupid Monkey King. I don't care what's in his name. He's not supposed to be in that.
But Geoff.
No, I don't care. I don't care what it says. He's not handsome. He's not handsome.
He's a monkey.
But hear me out.
He's a monkey. He's just a monkey.
Yeah, but hear me out. Just have you met him?
I mean, you're not called Sowiljr the Handsome King.
That's true.
Maybe you need to be.
No, when things are self-evident, you really don't have to go around and...
Okay.
Yeah.
Since every pantheon seems to be a big messed up family, I need to ask, who is your unfavorite in each pantheon?
Unfavorite in each? Not our
do you
unfavorite.
guys need a moderator? Do you need to go through?
No.
You gonna get the poster?
Yeah, there we
Oh,
go.
okay.
That just tells you which ones of them think you're the
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well-
But it also helps.
All right.
Well, this is only also living.
Yes.
True.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't hate the ones that aren't there anymore.
Okay, alright.
Oh, that's not true. Egypt's pretty easy for me.
Aesir or Vanir?
Well,
No.
Everyone.
another problem, like, I'll do from a character and from a player standpoint, just because in the Aesir, with loyalty and stuff like that, it's hard to hate someone in the game.
Yeah.
Also, if they're super manipulative, it is hard to hate them in the game as the character. As a player, the bitchiest person for Sowiljr lately has been Freyr.
Yeah.
Freyr's meant well, and he's a totally nice guy, but he's kind of dumb and kind of impatient, and things go wrong. And then, for me, the player, it's Odin. Odin's the worst. He's the worst Aesir. He gets in everybody's business, and he makes everything bad.
As a non-Aesir person, I feel very comfortable saying that I don't like Freyr. I wouldn't say that in his presence because obviously when he's right there in front of me, I really like him. But most of the time he just pisses me off, and yeah, I'm gonna go with people we've been dealing with lately. So I didn't really like Odin, but that's all done now, right?
Or is it?
Or is it?
Yes.
Odin, Allfather. I
Oh,
like this Allfather. We're gonna keep him.
Yeah, I like me too.
Yeah, Odin is one of those people that, like Freyr, when you're around him, you kind of have to really like him, or at least look like you're liking him. Yeah, he messed a lot of things up for Woody, so there's lots of bad blood there now. But out of the current ones, I think Hell has been pretty problematic. I mean, comparatively.
I mean, I'm not gonna fight
Most,
you, but
like story-wise,
Matt can make that face because he's never met Hell, and they have.
no, he has.
Yeah, he has.
Sort
I
of.
did.
Kind
Yeah,
of.
you didn't have to go to her house.
I met her in the past.
Yeah.
Time travel.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. I view Freyr as a non-entity.
Time travel is not part of my game.
It's a time bubble.
it's like a wibbly wobbly.
It's magic.
It's
magic.
magic.
All right, Amatsukami. Do you guys have any?
I mean,
Don't
I
care
don't.
is fine.
I don't like
Ryujin.
Raiden.
Ryujin. I don't like Ryujin.
Ryujin.
I don't like Ryujin.
I don't
He's
like,
a big dumb dragon.
I don't like Raiden for obvious reasons.
Well,
Well,
yes.
maybe not to you all, but again, you can't really go into. Well,
The Storm Wars.
You can mention the Great Storm Wars.
well, and that wasn't even really his fault. In my very first game that I actually played in, where John and Anne were playing Allison and Colin, Thomas was playing Ray, and he was a scion of Raiden, and we didn't get along very well. So because of that, I transferred my hatred onto his father.
But Colin and I got along really well.
Yeah.
That's what was important.
The Anuna.
I mean, how can you hate? How can you hate them?
I don't.
Lightning test.
I mean, I hate
Yeah.
how
Lightning test is
I
so
hate how
good.
stupid Marduk is,
Yeah, that's bad.
but I don't hate Marduk.
It's a toss up because for me between Shamash and Ishtar. Geoff has never met Ishtar, which is a good thing, and Shamash is just sneaky. He's a sneaky person.
Which you appreciate.
Yes, no. I definitely appreciate Shamash, but I'm also very jealous of him. Because he's much smarter and much sneakier than Woody right now.
Yeah, he's a good vizier.
Yes.
Or I don't know, maybe not. I don't know.
All right.
Say the word first.
Teodal.
Teodal.
Yeah. We need to change this. So.
Yeah,
it's
you're right.
old.
I mean,
Who is it you
Come on.
don't like, Matt? Tell us how you really feel.
yeah.
Hands-
You
hands
probably
down.
like him.
Tezcat.
Yeah, Tezcat.
Hands
He's
down.
the worst. He's just the worst.
He has been the worst since I met him. He continues to be the worst.
I mean,
I don't
I
like
think
him.
Jay Ortiz is worse.
I also don't like JRTs, but I'm afraid of Tezcat.
Vivian
that's
has
fair.
never had a problem with JRTs. I would like to remind everyone. So,
That's fair.
other characters
pompous.
have, but not
So
Vivian.
pompous.
Sangria loves Jay. He's great.
Yeah.
Well,
Of course.
That's tech.
Sangria loves anyone in her pantheon with charisma. Oh, hi, yes, sure.
Bagovi.
so many. So many Bagovi. I hate so many of them.
Shrugged is terrible, but also fantastic.
Yeah, he's like this. He's like you love to hate him, and
our adventures with Shrugged have been some of the most memorable.
they really have. He's like a
inter-pantheon relations.
Absolutely.
Let's see who else.
You've got your 4 kings, Perrin,
Yeah.
Radagast, Spontivit, Dashvik.
I mean,
Perrin's
I'm
a
gonna
nice
say
guy.
Radagast just because of recent
You've
events.
been really mean to Radagast.
He kind
But
of deserved it.
I mean,
Yeah.
as just a person, I mean, I can't really say that he's the worst. It's just he happens to be the one that I hate right now. So
Yeah, I would say the one who's got like a vendetta against Geoff is Dashbog. Those sun gods didn't get along very well. There was a breach in etiquette and something went wrong, so now they're not getting along too well. So that would be my Bagovi.
Yeah, we've had a lot of inter-pantheon conflicts with them just by existing.
Yeah, it's
Because
just
they're
Bagovi, they don't get
a whole
along.
society of laws, and everything we do is against their laws. Especially when we show up and try to do nice things for them. It's all against the laws.
I like how everyone is completely forgiven the great Sparsis Justice Boon bonanza that happened to you guys.
I didn't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
He dealt
He's the
with that for
king.
me.
He's just gotta kind of take it, and it's
We still need to make some chariots.
yeah. You need to make those.
Devas?
Well, Brahma's horrible.
I hate Brahma.
No, who do I hate? Indra. I hate Indra. Indra's the worst.
Brahma.
Brahma's
I've never dealt with Brahma, so I have no idea.
He's the worst.
Okay.
No explanation needed, right?
Indra. The worst.
Theoi?
How do you choose just one?
Who do you think, Vivian?
Oh, who's the worst?
Hera?
Skip? Can we skip?
Okay, we can come back. All right,
Okay.
all right.
Got it.
Nedger?
The Nedger. Oh,
That's Egypt.
there's two. They're a couple. They're the worst. Isis and Osiris. I hate them. But I love Osiris. But I hate him. That's what happens with charisma gods.
Aside from Set, and then our thing that we had with the big guys that I don't want to say who's there.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a lot of dealings with them in game, so I can't really say that I hate any of them.
You will. You will.
We'll see.
Yeah, Woody's actually had very surprisingly little dealings with any of them overall. So, not really an issue right now.
Yeah.
Tuatha?
Who's your best
Again,
friend?
Who do I
Again,
hate
do we
the
have
worst?
to?
Who do I hate the worst?
Do we have to?
Is it the Morgan, who's just awful, but I haven't dealt with her as much, or Mananan, who I've dealt with a lot more and is more of a manipulative dick? I'm gonna go with Mananan.
I think Mananan hates us more,
He does.
for sure.
He hates you guys.
Like, he really hates
Get in line, Manana. That's for Geoff. I'm gonna go the other way. It's the Morgan, and I don't know if we're caught up to Ragnarok yet, so I won't explain why.
No.
But it's the Morgan. The Morgan. She was a big bitch in
Well.
Ragnarok. So yeah. Look forward to that.
I think we're at the end of ones you've had dealings with.
Oh, Jeff
Yeah.
said the Izada.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have a...
No, I don't hate anyone in the Izada.
Oh,
I haven't had to
we-
deal with Ma or Ard yet.
We didn't talk about the Orisha.
Yeah, Orisha.
Eshu. Eshu is the worst. Eshu is like if you took all the terrible gods that we mentioned before and put them into one person. I hate them I hate him as much as all the other gods in each pantheon that I hate combined.
He's not that bad.
I hate him.
He's not.
He's the worst.
He's not that bad.
How do you feel?
I was just gonna say wherever you want to end up putting Anansi and Baron, they're both pretty terrible.
Baron is awesome. Shut up.
I mean, they're a lot of fun to be around, but they're terrible.
Oh, we can't get into that. We can't get into like the morality of gods because then we're just gonna be here all day.
Alright.
I guess back to the Theoi. The one that has caused the most trouble has got to be Aphrodite. She just
Aphrodite's
butts
really
her
nice.
bits
Okay.
into everyone's business, and
But the chart clearly states that she loves you infinity.
See?
yeah, it's a problem. It's a huge, huge problem.
We gotta finish the necklace for Aphrodite.
You have to finish the necklace. I have nothing to do with that.
It's tough for me because I really hate Hera, but I also I had the most interaction with her and I enjoyed it. And Vivian felt there was a lot that she could have learned from her, even though she didn't like her as a person.
We've let
So-
Hera down so many times.
Yeah, well,
It
she was a
doesn't
big
matter.
bitch about
Yeah.
it.
Zeus and Hera the worst. The end.
What? No! They're Zeus and Hera, they're good
Lightning
people.
test.
No, yeah, well, sometimes you have to have a lightning test.
I mean,
They're
aside
good
from
people. Don't
Hera,
listen to them.
From recent dealings, they're the
Poseidon's
worst.
a pretty big dick.
Yeah, no.
So
Poseidon's
I'll
horrible.
go with him as a secondary.
He's terrible too.
Poseidon and Aphrodite.
All of them.
Jeff, when are you going to finish the thing you're supposed to do for Poseidon?
Oh yeah, hey Jeff.
Never. He's just gonna die.
So as King of the Sea, is he invited to?
He's king of the Mediterranean.
It's a king, bud.
No.
One king.
Listen.
Okay.
I tried to help him out. All he had was dead fish bones, and you can't make an army out of dead fish bones.
And coral.
And that's and coral. And no, it's just bad.
You tried to help them all out. And
I did.
none of
I
them
gave
were.
them lessons, and then they just started doing it, and it's not. my
Sophia's
fault.
all right.
Yeah, no. Oh, Sophia's great.
Smoking hot.
That question was 14 minutes.
There you
But it was
go.
excellent.
I'd also like to
Never mind.
mention our honorary mention Pele, for those of you.
Oh yeah, well, we hate Pele also, but we weren't talking about her. I mean, I've never met anybody else from her pantheon, but I hate her.